Stop the backing track here. My goodness. Hold on. All right. So what you were just kind of listening to was this 31-year-old Washburn Force 32. This was picked off of purchased from Reverb. I saw this beauty and was talking to the seller over at Chicago Music, and I just thought it was a very spectacular looking guitar. And the more I thought about it being 31 years old, the more I thought about what possibilities of construction would it really have. Now, the selling point to this particular unit was that it was made in Japan. So back in the day, 41 years ago, I must have been 22 years old when this came out. This is a spectacular guitar. I mean, the pickups are just, they're like sweet wine, man. They really aged well. They articulate really, really nice. They absorb your overdrives really well. All three, bridge, middle, and neck sound really, really smooth. Um, it's got a little dings and scratches, here and there, but it doesn't take anything away from the playability of this instrument. Um, it's got a beautiful neck. It has a beautiful piece of rosewood. I'm going to contact Washburn and see if I can get more specs of that. It could be Brazilian rosewood. It has a lot of reddish character in there, like Brazilian. But it's hard to determine. There's not a lot of information, like very specific information on these particular Washburns 32. So if you guys happen to know specifically what materials these were constructed with, please, drop a comment down. It's got a floating trim, a lot like a PRS guitars. When I first got it, it was pretty much hard-tailed to the body, but I've done some work of cleaning it, cleaning out the pots, cleaning out the switch, and just a basic cleaning, I didn't even really hydrate the neck. I mean, it's got this finish on here, even though it's a high gloss, it doesn't feel like any high gloss finish that is very current with finishes. This feels more like a lacquer finish. It just has a very smooth edge, very rounded corners, zero fret spurs. This thing is really smooth for being a high lacquered sort of neck. The paint job is really, really tight. This metallic blue sparkle is really nice. It's super low action. I mean, it's just, I don't know what to say, man. I think this was definitely worth my time as to put it in my collection of guitars. That this is just a fantastic guitar for being 41 years old, and it's got a very current, body style, and it's heavy. I mean, this feels like alder to me, but I can't be specific. It could be mahogany, could be alder, definitely not ash, but it plays really good. I mean, it holds a tune really well. Just real briefly, we'll go through some of the sounds. This is in the middle pitches. Let me check the tuning, since I was kind of doing some lead playing and bending these strings a little bit. Let me just double check here. Yeah, we're a little flat. And the temperatures are changing a lot from winter, so I think a lot of my guitars are going through, sitting around in the cooler morning, and then as the body heat warms them up, they kind of change a little, which I think is pretty common. Where are we at here on this C? Yeah. Okay. It's that very Gibson vintage type. It's very, very nice. Double check here. I think we're okay. No? She's getting a little wacky right here. Yeah. I have not changed the strings since it came from Reverb. I think it has Diodarios on here, but definitely a new string change is in the making. Yeah. Okay, here's a little bit of that neck. It's got very bell-like tones in there. This is the neck pickup. E chord. Sure F. Just a really balanced guitar, man. I'm just shocked at 31 years old. And I'm sure these strings are old too, you know. I don't know. Definitely, they did not change the strings. They're old strings. It didn't have a back plate. I put that on there. I did put some foam underneath the springs, as I do all guitars. Little intonation adjustments here. And so, as all of that took place, the bridge did come off the body, which I was glad to see. So something about these bridges is a lot like a PSR. And in 41 years ago, these are brass saddles. I think PRS kind of stole that design, you know, because PRS saddles look a lot like that. I think the dimension of the holes are a little smaller, but these are brass, you know, saddles in that bridge tremolo. Very rich, very smooth though. There's no marking on the pickups. This is a split coil, but I don't really believe in coil taps or split coils. You lose a lot of tone in that. It's tapped right there. I don't think these are good coil tap or coil split, whatever. They sound better just without that at all being, you know. Okay, then here's the bridge. Very nice and tame. It's a very nice humbucker in the bridge. Still very bell-like tones. It's not a very harsh treble. How does it take with the Behringer Ultra Metal? Yeah, there's no problem with. They're definitely not microphonic, but they totally have a sweet, smooth sounding pickups, man. I don't know what the design was with these, but these are some of the best humbuckers I have heard in a long time, especially going back 41 years ago. 1983, made in Japan, guys. This is the Washburn Force 32. I'm so happy with this guitar to be in my collection. Totally vintage, you know. But what a fantastic guitar. I'm going to contact Washburn and see if I can get some real specs, you know, some real information in regards to the construction of the guitar, maybe what they were calling these pickups, but these humbuckers, just, man, it's just really, really nice. This is one of the best guitars I've held in my hand for a long time. You know, made in Japan just goes to show you, man, the Japanese were just, you know, really, really good at making things. And there's a lot of different Force, Washburn Force guitars, different ones. They had Floyd Roses, some of them had different tremolos. But this particular one, when I saw it on Reverb, I was really like, wow, look at that paint job. It's just really, really, really tight, really, really nice. Not a lot of, you know, damage at all. Just a really sweet guitar. It is a bolt-on neck. Another interesting thing about the bolt-on is it's got a tenant for these last two to connect to. These are like from the body into the neck, but then these two actually are mounted on the inner side of this particular cavity. A tenant comes down and then they are screwed into this tenant, which has some little locking washers. And so it's kind of like you know, a neck through body, but it's not. It looks like a neck through body when you first look at it, but you know, of course, it is a bolt-on neck. But um, I thought that was a very interesting design too, with the tenant coming into here, and it's bolting down into the body in this chamber. So quite unique. It's routed with a humbucker and a straight line here, opening for the wiring, and then another humbucker. There is no open cavity. The pots are 500K. It's all original. I looked at it. All the solder joints are original, but everything got cleaned out. And so this is it. Hope you enjoyed that video. I have another thing to share with you. I picked up a PRS, and both of these guitars share one thing in common. They're very, really, really nice, and I'm really happy to have this in my collection. All right, guys. I will leave a link to the backing track in the description below. So if you want to play to that also, it's a nice little track to kind of jam to. All right, take care and thanks for hanging out, and have a happy holidays, a good Christmas. Stay safe out there. Take care.